Hi crafters, Karen here from Karen's Crafting Company, and in today's video it's all about showing you the first project share for my Christmas card series. If you missed the intro video, I will have that linked in the description box below. And if you did watch it, if you remember some of the papers that I had in there, this is one of those pattern papers that I had in my stash. And so I went ahead and I had one piece left, but I wanted to share with you the cards that I was able to make with this one piece of paper. So I have a total of 6 A7 or 5x7 cards, and I just, I cut the paper, my pattern paper down, and I added a, a 1/4 inch border. I used my snowflake die, added a gem, and brought in one of my Hero Arts Christmas stamp sets for my sentiment. And then on the inside, I added another sentiment, and this is the Christmas Words Sentiment stamp set from Woodware. And whatever is still available, I will link in my description box below. So these were a lot of fun to make, and again, I have one sheet of that pattern paper left. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do the same or if I'm going to try something different. Then the other paper pad that I shared in my intro video was the Scrapbook Customs Christmas Watercolor 6x6 paper pad. And I am happy to say that I was able to use this whole paper pad up, and let me show you the cards that I made using this kit. So here I brought in my comic strip frame die, and when I get down to the last bit of scraps, I like to bring this die set in, and this is what the card looks like. And it's basically, you're just putting the pieces together like a puzzle. Really cute. I really like that die. It comes in handy, especially when you have the scraps. And I brought in one of my sentiments from my Recollection stamp set, and I have a snowflake punch from Creative Memories that I know is no longer available. And then on the inside, I added a scrap piece for a border, and then I used a Hero Arts sentiment stamp set that I have in my stash. So super happy to be, again, using what I have in my stash. This card here, this was a scrap, that plaid that you see there, and I had cut a circle out. You'll see that in another card that I made. And then I used one of my circle sentiment stamp sets from Close to My Heart, and then I added a pretty bow with a green background. And then on the inside, I added another sentiment. And then these next two cards, you can see here, these are stickers, and chipboard stickers, and I got these from Recollections at Michael's last year, and I am really happy to announce that I was able to finish up these stickers. So again, brought in some of that pretty paper that you see here, and for some reason I forgot to add my sentiment to the inside, so I will definitely need to go back and do that. This is another A7 or A2 size card, and again used that sticker from Recollections, and used my Woodware sentiment stamp for the inside. And now moving on to cards that I made using sketches. So for this card here, this is the My Favorite Things Sketch 340, and as you can see, I pretty much followed it. However, the only difference was I added a circular sentiment here instead of bringing in that fishtail, because I didn't want it to cover my focal point. And again, this is one of those chipboard stickers from that Recollections pack. And I really like how this card came out. Kind of woodsy, you know, for anyone who, you know, maybe might be into hunting or just, you know, loves the outdoors. And again, I stamped the inside with one of my Hero Arts sentiment stamps. Here I used the Sweet Sunday sketch number 287, and the only difference here is that I added a sentiment here, and used one of my Christmas trees from a Hero Arts kit that I had, a Christmas kit from last year, and I had some of these trees left over. So I added that, and then to the inside, again, I added another sentiment. Here I used the reverse confetti number 27, and I really like this sketch. And for this particular card, I really wanted the sentiment to be the focal point. So I brought in my poinsettia papers in the back, kept it all red. I love that background, and these stars came with that same stamp set. And then on the inside, I added a border strip, you know, using more scraps, and then I brought in my Stampendous holiday Christmas stamps sentiment stamp set for this. And then here I used the Mojo Sketch 526, and this was actually a sketch that I used from Danny's Dreams. She has a Facebook group where she holds challenges, and they are bi-weekly. And this was the sketch that she had 2 weeks ago for the challenge, and I went ahead and I chose to use the sketch for my card for inspiration. Now this snowman, this is actually a gift tag that I had in my stash last year. I got that at Hobby Lobby. I got it on clearance after the holidays, and I think I paid $1 for a pack of 12. So great deal. And again, on the inside, I used up some more scraps, and then I used my Stampendous sentiment for the inside. And now the rest of the cards that I'm going to show you with this same paper pad are all from Operation Right Home. Now, you guys know that I really like, you know, these sketches, and I'm actually going to start here with Operation Right Home sketch number 231. And so here are the cards, and there's the sketch. And I pretty much followed it. The only difference with this card is I shortened my sentiment because I didn't want it to cover the pretty image on this pattern paper here. And then on the inside, I used more of that same paper inside, and then I used my Hero Arts stamp set. And then here I was able to bring in some brads, and I used, you know, another Hero Arts stamp set from that kit. Added some more scraps to the inside and used another sentiment. And this is sketch number 217, again from Operation Right Home. And I did follow the sketch to a T. Now you'll see that several of my cards don't have sentiments on the front, and that's okay. You know, sometimes you can have them blank, or sometimes what I did, depending on the paper that I used, this says Merry Christmas on it. So that acts as my sentiment for the front of the card. And then plus with all the sentiment stamps that I have for Christmas, you know, I definitely stamped that on the inside. And then again, bringing in some scraps. And then here for sketch number 192, let me put this up here, and then you can see, pretty much followed that exactly. Really loved this Christmas tree pattern paper, and it was the perfect size. I brought in, you know, one of my stamps for the outside, and then on the inside, I, you know, pretty much used the same sentiment stamp for the inside. Here I have sketch number 166, and the only difference here is because I used one of my stamps here to color, I omitted the 3 circles because I didn't want it covering up the image. And then on the inside, again, adding in more sentiments with some scraps. Here is sketch number 165, and I pretty much followed that to a T. I really like the black and some of the gray with that silver glitter. I thought it looks just really, really pretty. And then I used some shimmer paper for that bow, added a gem, and then again added some scraps to the inside with one of my sentiments. And of course, this is one of my all-time favorite sketches to use, especially when it comes to using up scraps. So again, another kind of like black and gray or black and white card, if you will. Brought in my snowflake from the Sizzix snowflake embossing folder and die all in one. Used one of my sentiment stamps here for you know, the focal point on the front there, and then added some white cardstock to the inside with another sentiment. I thought that really came out pretty. And again, brought in one of my brads to use. So this, I think I got stuck here. I did. This is sketch number 153. And again, no sentiment because these strips here say Merry Christmas. And then I also used my swirl embossing folder for that card front. And then brought in some scraps and added another sentiment. Here I have, everything is sticking, my apologies. Here I have sketch number 147, and for this one, to replace that circle, I brought in my poinsettia embossing folder die cut all in one, like my snowflake. And so again, no sentiments on the inside. However, I did, you know, I added that to the inside with some scraps. So as you can see, I have a variety of Christmas sentiments stamps, and I just kind of, you know, picked a variety and used what I have. This is sketch number 132, and as you can see, this piece is a little bit wider, but again, you know, you just use sketches. You can use it, you know, to replicate, or you can use it as a starting point. And you don't have to follow the measurements exactly, and that's exactly what I did with this card. I didn't want to cut this down anymore. I wanted to use the piece as it is. And then I used my wood grain embossing folder for the card front. And then here, one of the things that I used here was one of my impression plates from Sizzix, and it acts like an embossing folder. It doesn't quite pop up the design like a embossing folder would. It leaves an imprint on the paper, so it's kind of like cover plates, if you've ever used cover plates. And then again on the inside, brought in one of my stamps and, you know, brought in the scraps, and that is the same sentiment for both cards. And then moving on to sketch number 127. I love this card. I just love these Christmas trees. And again, there is that texture plate that I used on both the green and the gray. And you know, brought in that Christmas tree pattern, added a bow, and then on the inside I added my sentiment. Here I have sketch number 97, and because of the reds, I thought let's put it on a red card base, and that's what I did. And I love this wreath border here. I added this stamp here, and then on the inside I layered the card with white cardstock to put my sentiment on. And then here is sketch number 76. And again, for the circle, I used my swirls embossing folder, and then I did layer some of that gingham in the back, and then I placed that Christmas tree there on top. And then on the inside, you'll see that the part of the circle that I cut out, I just placed on the inside of the card. And then I added a sentiment. Moving on to sketch number 67. This is another one of my favorites. And I had enough paper to make 2 of these cards, and I thought what I would do is for one card I would, you know, have the wording on top, and then for the other card I would have the polka dots on the top. And I think they both look really, really cute. And then I used my green wood grain as my border here, and then I brought in some tags that I had in my stash. This one is a sticker, and then this one was, you know, just a normal tag that I had. And I added the gems, and then on the inside of the card, again, adding a sentiment and adding a sentiment. So super, super cute. Really loving how these cards turned out. And then here I have sketch number 26. And again, no sentiment on the outside because I used the Merry Christmas paper here. And then on the inside, I added some scraps here on the bottom, and then my sentiment. And then the last sketch, sketch number 23. These are pretty much followed it. The reason why I put my strip here and my tag on this side was because I didn't want it to cover up the pretty image on the paper. And so just brought in one of my stamps and stamped the inside of the tag, and then again you know, brought in some scraps and then added my sentiment to the inside. All right, friends, so between my Christmas watercolor paper pad and the 12 by 12 sheet of pattern paper, just want to share with you that I was able to get 30 cards from the Christmas watercolor paper pad, and then with one sheet of 12 by 12 on A7 type cards, your 5 by 7, I got 6 cards. So far I have made a total of 36 cards. So I still have a ways to go, but it is a start, and I'm happy that I was able to get into my stash and start using that up. Friends, I hope that this video has inspired you to get into your Christmas crafty supplies and attempt to make some Christmas cards of your own, whether you use sketches or sheet loads of cards from Crafty Al, or if you design your own. So until my next video, I hope that your day is a crafty day. And please remember, stay tuned to the very end and you'll see close-up pictures of the cards that I just shared in the video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.